Hi, folks. First time I've done this horizontal orientation in a live stream. So maybe I'll get it figured out. You see, so many people want to love me, but they love their mind. So many people want to love Jesus, but it's a story. Now, whether that story has truth to it or not is not the issue. It's a story of belonging, a story that somebody can be somebody else, a story that you can do things you never imagined, a story about the first man who ever learned how to do things as he learned to do them, or at least the first one maybe that we have recorded witness of, or that we know the story of. But I share with you many things, and I would have shared many more things if you had let me go beyond Jesus and the realm of God into the realm of fiction, not, or will you come into the non fictitious realm, the realm that needs not molecules to breathe, think, eat, be existent in? Are you willing to see a new story? Are you willing to be the story about you? Are you willing to live the story? You see, the Jesus of the past that has been represented to us is a person that we're taught is exclusionary, not, or are we but the ones who will be what he is, what he became? You see, the perfect is not the perfect to you in your mind. Like so often, so many people think, oh, Jesus was perfect. Perfect in all his ways, all his thoughts, all his behavior, all his definitions, all of the words that he spoke. But what does that mean to you, perfect? You see, the word perfect, you define it. What are you conscious of this day? Many miracles? My mind. Doing them? Your mind with. Or work. Or well, between between my technical issues and people calling and whatever, I think I'll just terminate this for now. Well, you see, this is the thing. What is perfect? You expect everything to go your way, or like you think, or you thought, or you've been taught. But the message is go beyond your mind this day. You see, no longer being so tempted to want to do everything perfect in everyone else's mind. I'm asking you to redefine perfect. Perfect is a person, a perfect person, who is not separate from who they actually are in light, love, and a transcendent realm of superscendence, transcendent. Are you willing to behold a different definition of reality and see that you're actually composed of it? You're composed of reality. What if reality is using you? Or what if what is using you to define you to you in the definitions, language, feelings, and temperament of you is not really the real you, but something using your power? What if there's just so much more to the story? What if the real story is that you're not limited to you? What if the real story is that you're not limited to what you think? You're not limited to your 5 sense mind. What if the story of Jesus goes so far beyond religious thought, so far beyond religious dogma, that it's hard to conceive? What if there's a way for you to become what Jesus became? What if there's a way for you to become the story? The Jesus story about you, you becoming the story, you entering into that story, you entering into that play on the stage of life that you are controlling, conceiving. What if the Jesus story is not about a man at all? It's about a you. It's about a real person, not, but a real entity of transcendence, you see. What if the Jesus story is like the first grade? Well, let's ratchet up. What if the Jesus story is what you learn in high school, maybe, or that you can learn? But it's not the stopping point. It's not the end all. It's not that you lay down your life for the man, for the story, for the God. The God story? Why do you have a God story when you are composed of the elements of transcendence? Transcendence beyond the molecular, not limited to the molecular mind, the electrophysical, chemical, mechanical responses of the brain. You see, there's so much more to the story of Jesus, of you. The story of Jesus is the story of you, if you will be it. That's the story. And it's the beginning point. It's not the end point. It's not the end all. It's not that you lay down your life and worship another. It's that you begin to see you're not limited to this world at all. And all the things that he did, you can do because you're not subject to grief. You're more than something than what has programmed you to feel emotions of loneliness, hate. You see, friends, the Jesus story has so many, the way that it's taught in Christianity has so many people believing that Jesus was special and he was the only one that can do these things. And he did all of these things for you so you don't have to. And that is a falsehood. That is false. That is categorically inaccurate. But see, the people who say, I'm a heretic, I'm in heresy, I'm a blasphemer, I this, that, or the other. I think of the little story. I've told it a time or two. Mother comes into her daughter. Says, honey, remember now, tomorrow, first day of school, you go to the second grade. You're in the second grade now. Little girl says, Mommy, I'm not going. Mommy says, why not, honey? The little girl looks at her so defiantly and says, I've thought about it, and I can't think of a single thing I don't already know. I don't need to go. And it's a little ditty of a story that depicts, if you choose to let it so visualize for you, the metaphor, a little story being an allegory, a picture of something, a story of something else. I tell the story of the little girl with her mommy. The little girl doesn't want to go to the second grade, but it's really the story about us. It's like the story about us. We haven't seen with our own two eyes a Jesus to go beyond that it's really us. We haven't seen the story is about us. We haven't seen the limitations removed from us to open our eyes to do all the miracles Jesus did and more. But this is the story, and we're not limiting us to the story that we've been given to let that subterfuge run on our mainframe any longer. The story of Jesus is an archetype story. It's a meta story. It's a story about you. You can worship Jesus, of course, millions do. But actually, they are worshiping what they think. They're not worshiping the man, the story, the God. They're worshiping what they've enshrined in their mind, the development of that story. And they take refuge in that story. But you can say all sorts of things about why people believe the story because they pray to it, they pray to him, they pray to the story, they pray to what they've enshrined, they pray to what they think is Jesus, God, lover, soon coming King, Redeemer, healer. And sometimes things happen. Sometimes people pray and experience what they consider a miracle. And I'm not trying to explain all those things away. I'm sharing with you there's more to the story. So many things happen in our life that we call our life because our consciousness is conscious of something, but we've not been taught that we are the creators. And if, as long as you are taught that you are not the creator, that you are created by a Father, Father God, and that Jesus was the only Son, and all of the rigmarole that goes along with church and its diplomacy, of its brutality, and the way people are taught to think and live their lives, you suffer because you forfeit. The little girl didn't want to go to the second grade because she couldn't think of a single thing she didn't already know. We think we have the story. We think we have the experience. We have experiences where we have the calmness of our soul. Our soul, what's our soul? That's another. We begin to experience things that we wrongly relate as giving validity to our assumptions, to our story. We're always looking for something to validate our story. The human mind. The Congress of the human mind, wants to make the story valid that it has. So whatever story you have, it's only naturally programmed into you. You want to validate that story. Whether you think you're rich, poor, feeble, decrepit. No matter what you think, your thinker wants to think because you have a mind that thinks. You have a thinker that thinks. You have a consciousness that's limited to your mind. You have a consciousness that limits you? Yes. And it's only if you're willing to go beyond what you are conscious of and what you can validate by peer review standards. It's only when you begin to be willing to go beyond your five sense mind and go beyond the nomenclature of evil and good, beyond the vocabulary of people, the vocabulary that you have clung to, the definitions that you have lived your life by. It's only when you're willing to go beyond your five sense mind, the gateways to your mind, that you begin to see you have the power to go beyond your mind so that your mind will not fashion you in its circumstances and belief system definitions and the world that you know according to visible empirical verification ability. You see, there's more to the story. When you're willing to be a creator, you're going to learn things you haven't known. And you're going to come in contact with things that are uncomfortable. Truth, what is truth? Oh, know the truth and the truth will make you free, right? No, I said that over and over for years now. The truth will not make you free. You can know the truth. You can know. You can know you can have knowledge. But knowledge will not defeat your ignorance unless you employ something else. The power of the will, the human will. The power, your free will. No, there's more. There's more. Tender person. There's more to the story. And if you let us, we will teach you. Who is us? Oh my. Am I one or many? What is one? A single unit, a single entity. Is Jesus the one and only one? Or is there many? God the Father. One Father? One man? You see, when you think of God in terms of the way that we have termed God and been taught that God is God, God the Father, we are reducing what we're trying to define by what we think we are, because we can't conceive of what we don't know, or like the girl refusing to go in the second grade. No, I don't want to learn that. Give me the blue pill. Let me wake up tomorrow in my bed and feel comfortable. I don't want to know about the matrix. I don't want to know about the real me, the real you, the real one. There's more to the story, folks. And the story is about you. I'm happy to proclaim. It's not just about him. The Jesus story, the way Christianity limits it, is delusional. Limiting. Because all of that was designed, and even the way it's proclaimed today, it's all about control. It's all about cultivating weaklings, followers, servants. Develop your servanthood. Be a follower of Christ. Be in the Lord's army. Proclaim his kingdom. And millions of people are doing that, just like they're standing up saying, yay, 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 rah, rah, God. No, I'm not going into the second grade. I have the answers. I know Jesus, and I pray, and sometimes things happen. No, I beg, 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 and a lot of things don't happen that I beg, 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 beg for. We begged, haven't we? We followed. We've laid our lives before God, the God story. We've proclaimed happiness, joy, peace. But at every juncture, we needed money. At every juncture, we have felt pushback. We've had to try to have faith. Faith, believing against all obstacles that what we're talking about is true. The Jesus story is something you become. It's not about man that limits women. This is not about gender. It's about love. But see, here I go again. I can't just use the word love anymore because I have to describe it, I have to define it. I'm talking about a kind of love that we haven't been taught about, certainly not in church. My gosh, I'm talking about unconditional love. Absolutely unconditional love. Where you begin to love each other, you begin to love people that you've hated, people that have hated you, done you dirty, took advantage of you. How do I know these things? I'm sharing with you what I have become. I have become the story about, and I am one. I'm not the only one. And you're not the only one either, and you won't be the only one. For one is made up of many ones. Single consciousness that the mind no longer controls. For this mind of flesh is a ruler, dominator, dominatrix, commander, controller. Energy usurper. There's more to the story of the Congress, of the heavens, of the people, of the nations, of the Lord, of the law. Or are you interested only in the laws of lords? Or do you know anything about your power? Or are you interested? Or do you just want to be like the little girl that wasn't interested in going to the second grade because she could not imagine anything she didn't already know? Haven't we played the fool long enough? Haven't we sat in church? Haven't we begged God for answers? But God, 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 the God story, the Bible story. Because we haven't even had the imagination that we existed before God did. Yeah. Because God, what we call God, go to the definition. How do we define God? A superpower, a higher power, the divine, sacred one, that which breathed everything into place, everything into space. But my friend, we are not of this world. And just as it's recorded in John 17, in the Bible, yes, I quote the Bible many times. I studied it. I was a dedicated, devoted, devout Christian for many decades. But I kept knowing there was more to the story, more to the story, more to the story, and I kept asking. I wanted to know. So I kept asking, asking, asking. And I kept, at times, doing things I'd never done. There were times I felt like, what? I guess in the late 80s, 90s, especially the 90s. There were times I felt like, I think God spoke to me and told me this, that, or the other. And it would be a little phrase. And I guess in a lot of ways, that's how my process began to go beyond the first grade. Because I kept knowing there was more and asking. And because God was the ultimate authority in my mind at that time, I talked to God. I asked God. It wasn't just God help me. I wanted to know God. I thought, wait a minute. All these people are studying the Bible. I don't want to just know the Bible. I don't want to know just about God. I want to know God. I want to know God personally. I want to walk and talk with God like Enoch. I want to know. I want to go beyond the visible empirical. And still today, my quest is to be no longer limited by the visible empirical. And my message to you, dear friend, is you're not limited to the visible empirical, the molecular world that we see, feel, think, we have emotions of, where we lust for power, we lust for enough money to have this, that, or the other. But there is a world. There's another world, another existence. There's another energy. There's another way to live. Without this body. Lo and behold, what will I look like without this body? Clear see-through. Invisible? Or without this flesh, will I be an angel of light? Angel, what's an angel? Go back to the definitions, the parlance. What robs you of your ability to see the invisible? What robs you? Your definitions, your CPU, your processing unit, the definitions that exist on your hard drive. See, the message of Jesus keeps us ensconced in the message of Jesus that keeps us ensconced in religion and religious settings and religious practices to adore and worship a story. But the story, the original story, the story before the story existed. You see, before the idea of a God concept being separate, divine, sacred, superpower, we were just us. A race of people, light. We were just a race of light people. Light people, angels. We were the angels. We were God. We were just us. We had not conceived the concept of separation. And we loved each other. And we operated in communities across the cosmos not limited to the molecular, visible, empirical. So we are waiting for a king, not, although many people are waiting for a king, whatever they interpret, the Messiah, a soon coming king. He'll come back and set up his kingdom. But you see, all of the process of religion causes you to abdicate your ability to create. It wants to sit you, all religion, one way or the other, that I know of, basically all religion wants to design a place for you, put you in that place, and tell you a story, and say that story is truth. Believe the truth will set you free. Now don't worry about the second grade little girl. Yep, you know everything there is to know. Don't worry about it. You just read the book, say your prayers, do what's right, have faith, study to show yourself approved, a workman not needing anything else. Appease the God, appease God, appease God. But God, go back to the definition. You have to define these things. The God of love, we have to define love. The God of retribution, the God of vengeance, the God of wrath, the God who created a hell, damnation, condemnation, requirements that you do this, that, and the other. Oh, and by the way, populate the earth. Till it. Populate the earth. No, my friend, that's not my God. And you can no longer limit my existence to molecules, to religion, or anything else. And this is why I preach, teach. This is why I share. This is why I do these things. I am not limited to earth, and neither are you. I am not of this world, and you aren't either. Didn't Jesus say that in John 17, or have you memorized it yet? Or do you know it? Have you studied the words in red? Or did you just assume the story that you know is right? Because you have this idea of Jesus. You have this idea, oh, you've accepted him into your soul. What the hell is your soul? What is a soul? Soul? Oh, some people want to popularize the idea that the soul is made up of your mind, your will, your emotions. The vascular part, the molecular part, or the transcendent part? Or who's differentiating? Who's going into the second grade, the third grade, or going beyond? The story of the little girl that didn't want to go to the second grade because she couldn't think of anything she didn't already know. And don't we do the same thing? And what do preachers so often preach? Beware of false teachers. Beware of the new age. Beware of the witches. Beware of this, that, and the other. Beware, beware, beware. Truth has no enemies but you, who assume ignorance and proclaim ignorance is true. It's very uncomfortable to go into truth. Because we want to reach for what? The pillars of the temple. The pillars of the temple. Horns of the altar. We want the grape juice and wine. We want somebody to stand up in front of us that we think has power, authority. We think they know what they're saying to us is right. And we abdicate our ability to go into the second grade, the third grade. Jesus is a story, but don't stop with that story. Don't stop with the story of God. Don't stop. Don't stop. If you want to know love, the kind of love that surpasses all understanding, if you want to know a tender love, a complete love, a love that does not limit you in any way, fashion, shape, or form, if you want to know that love, you will come into an energy system that doesn't maintain it or maintain you in the limitations of it. When you want to know what love is, of what I'm calling unconditional love, you can enter it. Pardon. You can only enter it by becoming it, stepping into it. And it's hell. It's hell you're coming out of, being held here in molecular earth terms and the system of energy. Scary, isn't it? Scary to come out of slavery to the flesh, slavery to religion, slavery to the mind. Come out? You mean there's a freedom where you can be free? Where God will provide manna from heaven every day. You don't have to work a job 8, 10, 12 hours a day. You don't have to deal with that manager anymore, that cubicle, those resumes. You're not begging for a raise any longer because you can create. Witchcraft, blasphemy, heresy. That's what religion will say. That's what it said all these years. But when you want to know the story of the tender, not the story of power, but the story of tender love, complete love, love that completes love, where you begin to love love itself, you will begin to have power and experience it in daily life. Not subject to flesh, even though you're still in the flesh. And you will begin ever so softly, quietly, ineptly, imperfectly. Did you hear me? Imperfectly, you begin to do the things that bring about perfection. What is perfection? The perfect? No separation between God and man, God and you, woman. God, what we've called God, but before God was. Before there was an energy system of a cosmos of molecules. There's another history, you see. But we've forgotten it. We've erased it in each other. We've wanted each other to conform what we thought, what we think. And people who seem a little bit out of the ordinary, that don't think just like we do, we've been taught to shun them, shove them aside. They're fools, they're ignorant, they're blasphemers, they're infidels, there's this, that, or the other. My friend, when you begin to love, when you begin to love love, when you begin to love love, you become love itself, so that you no longer shun another person, realizing they are not separate from you. And you have the ability to communicate, commune, heal, live, create. You have the ability to create. The creator of all creation, the creator of all creation is you. Unfathomable, unreasonable, ludicrous, blasphemous. Unconditional love, we haven't known. We haven't known anything about. We've been taught sensual, lustful, control. We've been taught about a God of retribution, God that will cast non-believers into a lake of fire for a year or two, for eternity. Come now. If that's your God and you want to operate in that duality, you can keep limiting yourself to what you learned in the first grade. Nobody's going to force you into the second grade. No one is going to force you to go beyond Jesus. No one is going to put a rifle to your head, make you kneel down and say, renounce, believe, have faith, proclaim a vow, or whatever. Did Jesus die upon the cross? Oh, you think so because you read it somewhere. You've been told that 100,000 times. Or did he ascend? Controllers want to control. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but in the end thereof the ways are death. What is that way? The way of religion. If you keep heading the way you're heading today, oh no, don't tell me. You expect to die? Wait a minute, you're serving something you expect to give your life for? Or are you something else? What if it doesn't require sacrifice and suffering to be who you really are, except for what the suffering and the sacrifice is, to lay down what you think you know to go into an area that's uncomfortable? Are you going into the desert? The desert? Oh my gosh. Are you seeking the promised land? The promised land, the land of milk and honey, the land where I don't ever have to fill out another resume. I'm no longer giving my body, my mind, my productivity to another. I'm no longer sacrificing me. Is there a promised land where we're creators? And if there's a way to create and we're creators, are we creating just what we like and what we want to limit ourselves to and shun everybody else? That's not unconditional love, my friend. You see, unconditional love is not anything like we've been taught, wrought, or what we think or what we stink with. The aroma of unconditional love. Aroma. What's the definition of aroma? Oh, smell, an olfactory sense. Wait a minute, there's more, you see, where no matter what somebody smells like, looks like, no matter what their socioeconomic status is, no matter how affluent they are, no matter how beautiful they are in your own eyes, no matter how ugly, malformed, they have life within them, and that life force has not been snuffed out. And the life force, the source of the source, before Jesus, before God, before the construct of separation was created in our mind, the source of the source, the energy of life itself, not limited to the molecular, still exists in that person, in that consciousness, no matter how demented that consciousness may be. And healing exists, and power is existent, and it is not limited by space, time, or gravity. I'm saying so much in this lesson. Lesson? This is school. What kind of school? School to get you, me, us past the first grade. School to get beyond God, to get beyond Jesus, to go beyond. So we're no longer categorically sacrificing ourselves on the altar of public opinion, the opinion of religion, what we've understood as the book of the law. Write your own book. You can see how religionist will absolutely hate me, call me evil, call me the Antichrist, because I'm saying the Christ is you. The Christ is you. The story is about you. The story of the living Christ, the one coming alive, waking up, being born again, creating, living, going through school, advancement. How will you learn who you really are and how to do all these things? It's by the operation of the process of the new and living covenant. This is the operation of promise. This is the promise. The promise of the new covenant is a promise of education from the inside out. It's where you begin to learn to have guts, to where you think a thought and you think, I wonder if that's God talking to me, if you're still calling it God. I wonder if that's God. So you write it down and you begin to take notes. And eventually, you're doing that every day. You're choosing to walk out of ignorance. You're beginning to see that you can go into the second grade and no one can keep you from it, no matter where you are, no matter what school you're in, no matter what color your skin, where you've been, what religion you have been redeemed by or immersed in or rejected from. Because that life source of unconditional love, that spark, the stump of Jesse, there's something of that original that before time began, before God was ever a concept in the mind of any human being. Humanity? I don't want to be human. I want to be who I am. Simple me. And increasingly, I say, and I'm telling you, I'm a common guy. 74 years old now. A common guy in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And how do I know these things? I've listened. I've wept. I've created me. A new consciousness. A new crown. I'm not limited by the neurons that fire in a web of deceit that limit me to the visible, empirical, five-sense-minded world. There's another mind. There's another light. There's another love. And it doesn't limit you and me. It doesn't make us frail. And we begin to learn things about another universe, another star system, another form of energy. And we begin to see things in a different light, with a different understanding, with a different power, through different eyes. A new consciousness begins to form because we're willing to will. We no longer choose our free will to be separate from the love that cannot be conquered. We no longer choose to be separate from a love that allows every woman, man, every man, woman, and child of every nation, tribe, and tongue to be the Christ. The Christ? Yes. The Messiah? Yes. More than one? Millions. This is the message of my heart, of my love, of my life, of my living. This is a message that knows no end. And it's not limited to what I know about technology, fooling around with horizontal, vertical orientation of a live stream on video, and the light source, and the windows, and the audio files, and the video, and the uploading, and this, that. My friend, all that's going away. Not, but you're no more limited to it, because you see, within you are the fools' minds no more that want to project their words into you, because you choose to become the living word. No matter how inept you are in this world of shame, brutality, retribution, control, you begin to see you're the one who walks on water. And where do you first walk on water? Your thought life, your consciousness. You begin to birth a consciousness that you are not separate from the story. You see, I wrote the book, Jesus the Pattern. I wrote this over 10 years. 300 pages. I began writing the first part of this book. I was in London in a hotel room. There's so much I could say about how this book came about and the stories and experiences. But my friend, I think I'm probably going to wind this up soon. I don't generally teach more than about an hour at a time. Sometimes as much as an hour and a half, but not very often. There's more for you. Remember the story of the little girl that said to her mom, the story of the little girl where mom said, honey, remember, in the morning you get up early. You're going into the second grade. The little girl said, Mommy, I'm not going. Mommy says, why not, honey? She said, Mommy, I've thought and thought about it, and I can't think of a single thing I don't already know. To me, that is a very powerful story, and it's a story which gives us insight into a truth about us and how we on planet Earth are living our lives. As soon as we think we verify something as being real, as soon as we have some kind of emotional response, emotional experience with God, with prayer, with what we're calling Jesus or whatever name that you want to identify as your God, as soon as there's something which we think we can latch on to, we do so. It's a magnetic world. Electromagnetism controls this world. Electromagnetism produces form. There's a power of electromagnetism that you are not subject to. But you can only learn to create it as you become it. And when you become it, you can walk on water, turn water into wine, feed the 5,000, 2 loaves of fish, 5 loaves of bread. You can calm the storm. Say to this mountain, be removed into the sea, have faith. No, it's not about faith. It's not about knowledge. It's about you becoming who you really are. The real me. Me, the one. It's time you wake up and begin to realize you become the only one. There's only one. God is one. There's one. But one is made up of many ones because there's a consciousness, the mind of God. Let this mind be in you, which was in Christ Jesus. Think it not robbery to be equal with God. Come out of the first grade. Come out of the pew. Begin to write your Bible, your book, your covenant, the new and living effervescent covenant. I've shown this picture many times. I've looked at this thing, I guess, so many hundreds of times. You see, as I've taught, especially this last year, I've created many pictures and showed you. But I'll show you this again. Religion is a web of deceit. You're not limited to this molecular world. And when you begin to see, feel, experience the resurrection is available to you for you to no longer be limited to your flesh life and the rules of classical physics, religion, or anything else. And this is my message of me. Me. Me flesh. If you think that, you've missed the message. The real me, the me, is that consciousness that knows no boundaries, no exclusion. It's the love that lets anyone enter it who will become love itself. And when you become love itself, you're no longer looking for people to meet your requirements before you love them, before you invite them to dinner. Before you're kind. See, there is a kindness and a tenderness to unconditional love. It doesn't draw lines around our community, around our people, around our definitions. There's just so much more to the story. I hope you find this valuable, and I hope you will begin to listen and write. And no matter whether you think, feel like you're in the first grade, kindergarten, or advanced, regardless, Give God a chance, not give love a chance. The unconditional love that I talk about, that I speak about, that I teach about, where you begin to love love itself rather than the way religion defines it. Go beyond God, beyond Jesus, beyond the Bible, beyond your book of the law, beyond the rites and rituals of religious practices. Because you, my friend, don't need an army of God. You are a consciousness of one if you'll be the one. If you'll come into the onehood, the oneship, the consciousness of creating the Creator, who is you, to learn to let you be the creator of you again, the conscious creator, where you're not abdicating your privilege nor your responsibility to learn about you through you. Hence the new and living covenant, where you begin to write simply words and phrases, where you begin to value them, where you begin to channel. And a lot of times it won't be very comfortable. But if you're not willing to learn that which you don't know, you're stuck. Arrogant, afraid. But there are no limitations to unconditional love. It is not a world of limitation. It's an existence of freedom in an energy supply where you never again need to pay your light bill. Oh, in this world, but the world to come, the world you're creating, the world you are existent in, be the creator and heal you this day, and begin to see, feel, think, and create your love for you, where you're no longer denying your power, your love, your simplicity to do John 14:12. If you believe in me, do the things I do and greater. Don't get stuck worshiping the man. Don't get stuck worshiping the story or any other flesh man or any other story. Write your own from the inside out. I love you. Theodore Cottingham in Eureka Springs. You can write me at Box 34, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I love you all. Share these words if you will. Live them, love them, study them, record them, transcribe them, create a course. Create a course. Put the course online. Teach the course. You see, every teacher becomes a teacher. Every lover becomes a lover. Every lover becomes a teacher. To teach in tenderness, love, kindness. No longer losing yourself in the lust of the flesh or the vanity of the mind. Be the real you. Theodore Cottingham, I love you all. And I love you too. To all of us to be one, the real one, the only one, the one made up of many ones, all being the message, creating life anew and the new beginning of us that knows no limitations. Freedom to love, freedom to be, crown you in the humility and the surrender to be who you really are. Good day. Thank you so much. Thank you for being you, willing to go beyond what you thought and been taught and create the real you again. Good day. See ya.